Welcome, everyone. We will begin in just a few minutes. As you're logging in, go ahead and drop us a note in the chat box with your name, your business, and where and what you do for that business. Hi, Jody. Hi, Carrie.
Hi, Roxy. Sorry, I couldn't find my unmute button.
That's okay.
Hi.
As you're logging in, go ahead and drop us a comment in the chat box. Tell us who you are, where you work, and what you do there. Brian, long time no see.
Yeah, good to see you again. Thanks for coming last night. That was great.
Oh, it was a lot of fun. Hi, Tom.
Hi, Roxy.
Hey, Doug. Hey, Christina. All right, well, we still have a few people logging in. Go ahead and continue to drop your information in the chat box. We will go ahead and get started so that we don't waste any of our precious time here today. I do have a quick poll question for you to do. We want to learn a little bit more about how you found out about this webinar. So if you could please answer the question on your poll or on your screen that tells us how you heard about this webinar. All right, give you about 10 more seconds to answer that poll. If you can't see the poll, let us know in the chat box. Daniel, it looks like a lot of people are getting chamber emails, so that's a good thing.
That's what I like to hear.
All right. So it looks like most of you either heard about this on social media or you saw a chamber email. You might have gotten a postcard or you might have talked to a staff member at the chamber or a chamber member who encouraged you to attend. We always like to know where you're getting your information so that we can better serve you. So thanks for answering that. Let's start with introductions. We have 4 staff members and I want to make sure you're familiar with them. First is Melissa Vance. Would you like to introduce yourself, Melissa?
Good morning, everyone. I'm Melissa Vance, and I'm the president and CEO here at the Chamber. I've been in this role for about 3.5 of my 6.5 years here at the Chamber, and it is a pleasure to get to work with great business leaders and organization leaders like you. So thanks for joining us.
And I'm Roxy Deer. I'm the Director of Membership and Education, and you'll learn more about what I do later. I've been at the Chamber for about 3.5 years. We do have some newer staff though, and so you may not be as familiar with them, so I want to make sure they get the chance to introduce themselves. And the first is Lynette Davis.
Hello, Lynette Davis. So I have been here 9 months now. And really enjoy being here, love being here. I'm the director of events, and events is my jam. So I'm in my happy place, and to be able to do that in a way that serves Wayne County just makes it even better.
Absolutely. Thank you, Lynette. And Daniel, our communications coordinator.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Daniel Arthur. Like Lynette, I'm fairly new. I'm here just about a month more so. But like Roxy mentioned, I'm the one sending you all your emails on Fridays and posting on to our social media. So if you've seen all that, you can blame me for that. But I'm happy to be here, happy to help out and help make Wayne County a better place.
And as we go through today's webinar, if you have questions, feel free to drop those in the chat box, and Lynette and Daniel will do their best to answer those questions. They'll also add additional resources and links that you may need throughout the presentation. With that being said, I'm going to hand it over to Melissa to talk a little bit about the basics of the chamber.
So a lot of times we talk to people and they don't really have a full scope as to what the chamber actually is and does. And we're a nonprofit organization that really serves, our mission statement says we're the unifying link in the community. And that's truly what we want to be. We have about 540-ish members of the chamber, and those consist of large businesses, small businesses, entrepreneurs, nonprofits, individuals, but all have a common interest of how do we grow the economy? How do we make Wayne County a thriving place to live, work, and play? And so we're funded. I know that's the last question. I'm going to skip to that, but we're funded through chamber member dues and then sponsorships, things like that. A lot of people ask, how are we able to accomplish all of the things that we accomplish? And as you just saw, we have 4 people on our staff. And the answer to that is truly, it's you and other members. We have about, at any given time, 150 people that are volunteering on our various committees and serving in different ways, helping us to move things forward. Our annual dinner was no exception to that. And I know Lynette will talk a little about that later, but those things don't happen with just 4 people. It takes a village. And so that's what we are. And we really exist to help grow our economy and our community and help it be prosperous. We have 4 pillars that we focus on, and those are advocacy and awareness, professional development and training, networking and engagement, and benefits and support. And all of the things that we do fit under one of those categories. And really, kind of sums up the work. We do a lot of advocacy with our legislators for various things. This past year, that was exemplified in a lot greater way than what it has been in the past. But it's exciting work. It's hard work, but it's great work. And it's always good to see our businesses thriving. Did I answer everything you wanted me to answer, Roxy?
Absolutely. Thank you so much for that. I think a lot of misconceptions come from the idea that the chamber is only for CEOs and executives of organizations. And one rumor, you talked about, we're not as publicly funded, we don't get tax dollars. But our members are every employee. We're trying to break down some of those barriers so that you understand that you do get to benefit from this. And so if your company, if your organization is a chamber member, all of your employees qualify as chamber members and they get those benefits. And so even if it's your janitors and your entry-level positions, they are getting the same benefits that the CEO and the president of your companies get. And that's up to you at your business, how you disperse that information. If you want everyone on the mailing list, we can make that happen. If you would rather have just your executive level on the mailing list and participating, that's your prerogative to do that. But just want to make sure that that's clear, because a lot of times especially like our nonprofit leaders or our small business owners, you can't be everywhere all the time. It's okay to elect somebody else from your company to represent you at the chamber.
A great example of that, Roxy, is that we have many board members that are executives in companies. but they have other staff members that are serving, for instance, on the events committee or the education committee, because it better suits their skill set and their time availability. And so it's, more than okay to kind of divide some of those things up so that you get the maximum exposure.
Absolutely. And it's like you were reading my mind, Melissa, because I'm going to talk a little bit more about our chamber action committees. And we actually have 6 committees as staff, and they meet once a month. And they plan and execute everything that we do, everything from our annual dinners to our Chamber 535s, our buy local initiatives, our workforce development initiatives. All of those are planned inside the committee. And like I said, any of your employees can join any of these. So I thought we would go through each of our committees first so that you're aware of what they are doing. Let's start with the fun committee. ACES, Lynette, I'm going to let you take this one over.
Yay, the fun committee. I needed some confetti that went across the screen. So the award celebrations and events committees are otherwise known as ACES, also AKA the fun committee. We pull off the events that the chamber does, and celebrating the great things that are happening in Wayne County. So our most recent one is our biggest one, and that was our annual dinner. It usually takes place in January, and for 2021, we pushed it back to August. So we just had it at the beginning of this month. Next year in 2022, it is going to go back to January. So we're getting ready to just ramp right up and do it all again. I had a small army there helping me put this all together, and without them, it wouldn't happen. So I'm very grateful to those who are on the ACES committee. I know on this meeting right now, Doug and Jessica are on here, and they are members of the ACES committee. So, and both a huge help. So shout out to them. I appreciate them. In addition to that one, we put on an annual golf classic. It has been at Forest Hills, and that's another larger event that takes lots of volunteers, and the ACES committee steps up and volunteers for that day. We do lots of ribbon cuttings. I love ribbon cuttings. I love going and celebrating a new business opening, or an anniversary for that business, or maybe just a new look that they might have. They might redo their logo and such and want to celebrate that. So I love the ribbon cuttings. I love celebrating with businesses and organizations in our community. So we're quite busy with those. And those who are on the ACES committee just get notifications of when and where those are. And if they can make it, wonderful. If you cannot, that's okay too. But always wonderful to have some of the ACES committee there joining us and helping us celebrate. And then Chamber 535, those we haven't been able to do as many of those, but they will be coming back. And these are our networking nights, ways to just meet other people, other business owners. I love these events because I always meet somebody new, and then you find a way to, I didn't know that your company did that. And just learning what else is happening in Wayne County are really great things. One Chamber 535 event that is coming up is our Community Improvement Awards. This is going to be in October. We are going to be looking at businesses that have done some upgrades to their outside facade and awarding those businesses for the work that they have done to help beautify Wayne County a little bit more. And so we're going to be planning that and working on that, but that's going to be an upcoming Chamber 535 event. So I'm always grateful to have people join this committee. And as I mentioned with the ribbon cuttings, really with anything, it's we meet monthly, the second Wednesday of each month. Oh gosh. Second Wednesday of each month at 3:30 in the afternoon here at the chamber office. And and then all of these events that happen. So I know people have said, oh, I'm on the committee, or I want to be at the committee, but I don't know if I can make it and help with all of these things. And that's okay. You don't need to do that. Help that I can get when I can get it is greatly appreciated. So feel free to reach out and ask me if you're interested and have questions. I would love to talk to you about it, but it's the fun committee.
Thank you, Lynette. And I'm going to launch another poll now. We want to see how many of you have been to the annual dinner. So go ahead and answer the poll on your screen. Let us know if you, not just this last one, if you've attended any of them in the past. Okay. Oh, a few of you have not attended annual dinner yet. I would say that this is, if you want to get a taste of what the chamber is doing, our next one on January 21st is the prime example of what the chamber is working on. And it's just a great celebration of the work being done in our community. Go ahead and share those results quickly. There we go. All right, our next committee that I'd like to talk about is business education. And you see that this group is working on workforce development. They are doing hiring fairs with our seniors in high school. This past May, we brought all of our seniors that had no post-graduation plans together, brought them to the Western Wayne Administration Building, and employers did live interviews that day. And I don't want to call them full-blown interviews. They were more of the introduction interviews, but students had the opportunity to have 6 10-minute interviews, and then they got the chance to be hired by those companies immediately after. And some of our factories that are here today or represented today were there. And you know that this event was a big one for our community, and we're going to continue to do that in the future. This group also works on that career exploration. We know that students are making decisions about their future pretty young. So we're helping with middle school and elementary kids learning about the careers that exist right here. And if you're getting a degree in accounting, that's your passion, that's your love, there are jobs here. And it's not just accounting like you've always thought about it. It could be accounting in a manufacturing plant or in a nursing home or in healthcare somewhere. So helping these students recognize that there are really great careers here and that we want them to stay here. This group is also making a focus over the next year on internships and bringing high-level internships to our community. I know many of your organizations already have interns, and we hope to grow those numbers. We're leaving a lot of money on the table with not using internships, so we want to keep that growing, and you'll see some new initiatives coming out. This group also oversees School is Cool, which is the Perfect Attendance Initiative. And each year we give one senior with perfect attendance a brand new car or a scholarship for that value. If you haven't been to that event, obviously nobody's been to it in the past 2 years, it's been virtual. But if you would love to volunteer for that event, it is one of my favorite events that we do every year because the kids get so excited about that one. All right, next up, Daniel, I'm going to put you in the hot seat and let you talk about Buy Local.
All right. Thank you, Roxy. So Buy Local committee is one of our 6 action committees. I am the staff lead for that. And basically what Buy Local does is we explain the importance of buying local and help facilitate buying local. So telling individuals, why, we all hear it's important to shop local and support our local businesses, but Buy Local is really hammering in, what makes it so important? Why is it so important? And, how can we most effectively shop local? So some of the programs that we do, you might have heard of our Chamber Gift Certificate program. So these are pre-purchased or prepaid checks that you can purchase from the Chamber and spend at any of our Buy Local certified businesses. And so what that means is a Buy Local certified business is a Chamber member that meets a specific set of criteria that shows that they go above and beyond in supporting the local economy. So, doing business with a local financial institution or sourcing your resources from another chamber member or somewhere else locally, really keeping it local and stimulating the local economy. And so we reward that by giving them a Buy Local certification, and then they have the option to accept these gift certificates. Last year, we sold over $36,000 worth of Chamber gift certificates, and that's money that all went directly back into those Buy Local certified businesses. So it is a really awesome program. A lot of companies buy those certificates for like employee appreciation or for a holiday gift, and then that can get turned around and spent right back, not at your, your big box stores, but at your small stores that really, that we're really focused on. A couple other things that Buy Local does. You might have seen our couch shopping event this past December. That was a response to COVID numbers and people feeling uneasy about shopping in public during the holiday season. So we brought the shopping to them. It was kind of in tandem with all of our committees. Couch shopping just kind of spearheaded the marketing, but we brought some vendors in and gave them a platform on our Facebook Live to sell products to consumers, and then individuals could purchase products right from the Facebook Live, get their holiday shopping done without having to leave their home. So another boost for our local businesses. And then one we've got coming up this October is Restaurant Week. And that's it's a week-long marketing boost for our locally owned restaurants. Just another way to kind of get people, going to our local businesses and supporting our local economy.
Great, thank you, Daniel.
Thank you.
Next up is one that I oversee. It is the Hype Wayne County Group, or the Young Group, as many of people refer to it. This is a group for anyone 21 to 40. And so you may have a young professional working at your company who you know is an up and comer, who will one day be a business leader. This is a great way for them to start to, I call it kind of like the mini chamber, like the junior chamber almost, because they have their own sets of events and activities, but they're also included in all the chamber events and activities. They work on professional development, social networking, and we also provide them volunteer opportunities. We host quarterly blood drives. We do community cleanup initiatives. Just this past week, we were at the Barnett Helm, helping them get ready for their big event this weekend. And so lots of fun things for Hype to do. Their big title event is Flavor of Wayne County, which is hosted in the spring. This past year, it was on top of the parking garage, and all the local restaurants got to come and give out samples of their food. People enjoyed live music. It's a fun evening, and it's all by our young professionals who are choosing to make Wayne County their home. And so we hope that you send us your people, because this is an up and coming group that is really, it's brand new to the chamber, have been its own separate 501c3. So if you have any young professionals, please send them our way. All right, the issues and advocacy, I'll cover this one. This is the serious committee that I like to say. This group works on advocacy. They are strictly focused on how do we make Wayne County a better business community. And you have probably faced issues with your business before. Maybe it was the bike pass going in that shut your business down for a few weeks, or construction. Remember 2 years ago when construction was our biggest concern? Maybe you've had COVID problems. You can't get things in, supplies in. We help with those issues, and this group is doing that. And they are really taking ownership of how do we represent our businesses better. And every month they're talking about hot topic issues. In the past year, we've had conversations around race relations. We've also had conversations about beautification in our community. In the past few weeks, we've been talking about other things that businesses are facing. And we try to bring all the parties to the table and really make sure that we're negotiating and we're compromising and coming to a final decision that makes everyone happy and works well with everyone's needs. This is the group that also does all of our events that are where we bring in political leaders, or we may have panels of speakers. You see in this picture, it's a state of event. And this is, I believe, state of growth, and where we talked about how the community was growing over the past few weeks or past few years, especially post-pandemic. And we actually are having one tomorrow. Lynette, do you want to give it a plug?
Yes, I do. We are tomorrow, we are hosting State of the Community, where we are going to have presentations on our arts community, our nonprofit and philanthropy community. What is the vibe with Hype? There's going to be Hype presentation on that. And then also our Main Streets, Richmond, Centerville, Cambridge City, Hagerstown. So just kind of, we thought it was going to be kind of a pulse on the community post-pandemic, but we may not quite be on that post part yet. But what is the pulse of the community right now in lots of different areas?
Thank you, Lynette. If you're interested, or if you even have a topic that you think INA should be talking about, please send those our way. This is chaired by Jeff Carter from Bethany Theological, and Melissa is the staff lead on this one. Up next, we have the Member Outreach Committee. This is one of my committees. They are helping us with retention, recruitment, and making sure that you are connected to the chamber. So this event today, this webinar, is one of theirs. They're talking about how do we get our members to know what's going on at the chamber, to utilize the chamber and make it a better organization for those that we serve. If you're ever interested in helping us connect with the new members, this past month we've had over 20 new members, and so this is a big deal. Our chamber has grown significantly over the past year and a half. We have about 80 new members since January 2020. So exciting news, but this group really kind of brings them in. They do the new member orientations, they're doing the recruitment and retention efforts, and also just making sure you know who to call when you need something. Okay, so we just threw a ton of information at you. And that's not just what the chamber does. We have many more activities, many more events, many more programs and offerings and initiatives that you can get involved in. Those were just the committees. I thought we'd dive quickly into some of the other things that we offer. The first, we just rolled out a brand new insurance and 401k plan. The insurance program is for small companies who need to provide insurance to their employees. And we actually have, everything is local. So you'll use local insurance agents and they will work with you with United Healthcare to create an insurance plan that works for you. And what they're saying, what the numbers are showing is that this plan is usually 25% cheaper than what a non-chamber member plan would be. Next, we also have a 401k plan. So these are added benefits that you can give to your employees. The 401k plan is also a local initiative, and it is through Lincoln Financial. So our local financial, Vista, Edward Jones, and a few others are able to work with you to create that plan. And as long as you're a chamber member, you get this, and you get this for as a benefit. I won't say you get it for free because we all know healthcare is not free.
I did want to say one thing real quick. I am putting a link in the chat right now. That'll link you. There is a page on our website with information about both the insurance and 401k plans, as well as a list of all the insurance and agents and financial advisors that are chamber members that do offer this. So if you don't currently have an insurance agent or financial advisor, the ones listed on this page are able to offer both of these services to chamber members.
Yeah, and if you, thank you, Daniel, for doing that. That's fantastic. If you do currently offer those, always ask your agents and your companies, is this a better option? Is this something that's going to benefit my business better? Am I going to save some money doing that? So that's always an option for you. Next up, I'm really excited about this one, and it is a hidden secret to the chamber. We have not promoted this a lot because it just rolled out this year. If you are a chamber member, and remember, chamber member can be any employee that works for a chamber member, and you have a student who decides to go to Earlham, they automatically get a $10,000 scholarship. And that will be divided up against the 4 years. So it's $2,500 a year just because your business has made the investment in the chamber. This is a brand new initiative through Earlham. They want to keep our local people here and going to school, so they offered this scholarship to all of our members. If you have questions about this, or if you want to learn more, we can connect you with the admissions team at Earlham who have rolled this out for us. Next up is the Roses Office 360. We all need office supplies all the time. In this office, we're constantly shouting, do we have paper? Do we have cardstock? Do we have ink pens? And luckily, we're part of Roses Office 360. They have a buying power plan. So if you're a chamber member and you work through them, you get larger discounts of all your items. So check with your office supply person who's ever in charge of that in your office and make sure that you're signed up for this. It is better than Amazon. I will say that. You order at like 5 p.m. on Tuesday, you're going to have it by noon on Wednesday in your front door. So it is a very, very successful program. We use it every single day in our office. And it's really, all of your employees can access it and order supplies, or if you want to make one person in charge of that, so not everyone's ordering, you can do that as well. Daniel, I'm going to let you talk about mailing labels.
Sure thing. So as a chamber member, once per year, you get access to a set of physical mailing labels from us. The mailing labels are for the primary contact person for every single one of our chamber members. So it's entirely, well, not free. It's included with your membership cost. But like I said, once per year, you can call me up and say, hey, I'd like to get my mailing labels. I will print off a set for you, and you can come pick them up at the office. A lot of folks do this if they have a big yearly event they want to promote, or if they are sending out a mailer or updating their mailing list, things like that. And I get calls for this all the time. People take advantage of this, and it's a really great opportunity to make just one more networking piece that you get with your chamber membership.
Absolutely, Daniel. I work for a lot of different nonprofits in the community on helping them connect with people. And they always say, well, can I just have a directory of the chamber membership? And we cannot print. That's part of our member. We promise we're not going to give your information out to any solicitors. But we do print these labels off for you. If you're getting ready to do match grant, if you're getting ready to have an open house like Daniel said, or maybe you want to introduce a new event or new activity, this is a great way to just mail. You create the mailer, we create the labels for you, and it goes. Right now we have 546 members, so that number is pretty high for us. Usually we're in the 517, 520 level, and you get all of those labels to connect with all of those people. I'm going to toss it back to Daniel to talk about Around the Chamber.
All right. So like I mentioned at the beginning of the presentation, the Friday emails that you see are from me, and those are Around the Chamber emails. So every Friday we send out an email containing community events, what's coming up, things like that. There's some chamber news in there, with the exception of the first Friday of the month, and that is the Chamber e-newsletter. And so the first Friday of the month, you'll see that's more in depth on what the chamber's been up to. We have some articles in there, just kind of giving everyone a monthly update on the chamber. But then all the other Fridays in the month, we're promoting what's going on in the community. So I'm actually, right before this meeting, I was working on it. I work on that newsletter throughout the week. So if you ever have any events that you would like to promote, you can send those directly to me or to our general chamber email, and I can put my email in the chat after I'm done speaking here. But yeah, we promote any event as long as you're a chamber member, and we run those for typically about 2 weeks. And then, we just cycle through them. One thing I will note is that we don't run advertisements for your business. Thanks, Lynette. We don't run advertisements for your business. Though, however, we do offer that as a paid spot. And that is in our once per month chamber e-newsletter. So to recap, events and promoting events in the community is entirely free, no cost to you. But if you want to run an ad for your business, there is a cost to that. It's not too terribly high, and I can link the price sheet as well. But that's most just take advantage of the free weekly promotions.
Absolutely, thank you, Daniel. Let's see here. The next thing that we're going to talk about is probably what I'm most excited to offer to all of our members: free trainings. Every month we host webinars, we host in-person trainings when we're not dealing with COVID. We do also offer Adult Team 101 courses. So I want to take a second and dive into what these trainings are. Every month we work with Indiana Small Business Development Center, Peggy Sonova, and we address the concerns that our businesses are facing. And these, I've gotten the question, are these just for small businesses? No, we have done them on big business issues. We've done them on small, on sole proprietor businesses. These just depend on what's going on in the world. You'll see here, we did one for planning for holiday sales during COVID because no one knew what was going on, right? A few weeks into, or a month or two into COVID, we talked about things to do to work at home and be more productive. We also have done building safety. How do you make sure that your building and your employees are safe, and had Richmond Police Department come and talk about that. You'll see we've also done some with hiring firms. We brought in Indiana Vets, which is how it's a government organization that brings veterans into Wayne County or into the state of Indiana and helps them get employed. The Adulting 101 series, that's for all of your young professionals. These are free. They've been webinars because thanks COVID, but these sessions are how do you buy a house? How do you I'm blanking. How do you build a 401k? How do you have a retirement plan? All of those topics that we want young people to know about. The best part, and this is a COVID plus, if we had any of those during 2020, all of these are recorded, and that we make sure that you have access to all of these. This webinar today is being recorded, and you will have access to it on our YouTube page. And I know Daniel's going to post the link here. All of our webinars that are recorded, in the past, we tried to record them when they were in person, but our presenters were moving around and a little chaotic. The webinars actually give us the chance for you to have the content afterwards. So always, if you have any questions or you're like, oh, I wonder if the chamber's ever done something on this, let us know. If we haven't done it, we'll make sure that we get it on the docket for the upcoming months. If we have done it, I'm going to send you the link that says, here's a great webinar to listen in. You'll notice in that bottom right-hand corner, you see Grow with Google. We are an official Google partner. So if you need help getting your business located on Google, things updated in Google, we can work with you, and we actually have Google trainers that help us connect our businesses. And we usually roll out about every 2 years new member initiatives through Google. So getting your business online, making sure your Google points and all of that, your Google website, all of that are up to date, and we bring in trainers for those. So stay tuned for those because they're coming soon. Okay. If you're like me, you're probably feeling a little bit like this meme and just overwhelmed and exhausted, and you don't even know where to start with the chamber. What I should have said at the beginning is that the chamber is here to support you, and what you put into the chamber is what you will get out of it. I see on our list here, we have Doug Macias here, and Doug jumped right in and joined the chamber and has been benefiting from that. I think, Doug, do you want to say anything about your experience with the chamber? I'm putting you on the spot.
Not a problem. Thank you, Roxy. Being new to Richmond, Wayne County and NATCO Credit Union, the chamber has been an excellent resource for me to get connected with other people in the community, and also the tools that you guys have on your website, and just the interactions that I've been able to have with the chamber staff, the other committee members, and just helping me get dialed into the community.
Absolutely. Thank you, Doug. You've been a great example of just jumping in, making the most of it. And if you have questions or if you have connections, you know who to contact now so that you can get those connections. And I know you've met a lot of people through the chamber as well, which always helps your business network.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so what questions do you have for us? Go ahead and drop some in the chat box, or feel free to unmute yourself. I do want to remind you to follow us on social media if you don't already, and also check out our website, because our website has all of our upcoming events. We have a lot of things going on, and as we wait for questions, we'll start to talk about some of those upcoming events. Also, if you'd like to join a committee, if you heard something today and you're like, hey, I really want to be a part of that fun committee, just drop us a note, email us, send us Facebook message, whatever you need to do, and we'll get you on that mailing list. It's as simple as it is to join a committee. Also, if you're not getting our chamber emails, please make sure you let us know, and we'll get you connected with those. I mean, always, it's not just you, all of your coworkers can join. So with that being said, as you're dropping some comments, let's see here. Oh, I see emails. Lynette, why don't you talk a little bit about some of our upcoming events? I know we have some luncheons coming up.
Oh gosh, so many things. Okay, so we already touched on tomorrow, the State of the Community, which is actually a breakfast event. And we have one that was a quarterly event. I'll go ahead and just finish out on State of series. That was a quarterly event throughout this year. So we're on the third event. Our last one will be December 3rd, and it is State of Growth. It is a breakfast event at Forest Hills. So it's $35 for chamber members. Costs more if you're not a chamber member. So there's another benefit to being a chamber member, some discounts. $35 for chamber members to attend that, and includes breakfast and then the program on what we're discussing that day. So like I said, December 3rd is the next one. If you can't make it to tomorrow's event, join us for December 3rd. What else do we have going on? We have the governor is coming. The governor is coming. He is coming on September 9th. That will also be at Forest Hills, and that one is a lunch event. I'm sorry to say, though, it is sold out. So I get all excited and I got nothing for you. Sorry. So for those who have tickets to that, we're excited to have you there. It should be a good event, but I'm sorry to say it is sold out, so I can't add anybody in. That's another one that's kind of a combination of what I do, but then also the ACES committee, or not, I'm sorry, the Issues and Advocacy Committee coming up with the questions that are going to be asked to the governor and so forth. I had mentioned we have our Community Improvement Awards coming up in October. Daniel made a mention of Restaurant Week, and it's actually going to be during Restaurant Week, so look for information on that. But that is going to be celebrating businesses who have made upgrades and improvements or renovations to the outside facade of their buildings and businesses, or built a new building or something like that. So that's a fun celebration coming up. We also have a business summit coming up, which is that's more Roxy's world.
I'll take that one for you.
That one.
So on October 8th, we are hosting our first ever business summit. This is a day-long leadership conference right here in Wayne County at the IU East campus. We have an incredible keynote speaker. I cannot tell you how excited I am to bring this lady to town. Her name is Denise Ryan. She actually calls herself a pyromaniac because she talks about how she wants you to turn your life and just really set yourself on fire to go to the next level. And her energy is contagious. I talked to her for 5 minutes. I'm ready to go for the day. So excited to bring her to town. We will also have 15 breakout sessions with experts talking about all different things. We have tracks for HR employees, business leaders, young professionals, nonprofit leaders. If you have ever wanted to go to a leadership conference, or maybe you don't want to travel and you'd like to stay local, this is the opportunity. And registration actually opened yesterday for that event. So please make sure you sign up for that. We're going to have a business expo there. So if your business would like to set up a booth to talk to all of our other business leaders, that would be a great opportunity.
I did see a question come in about
Yeah.
the mailing labels. Thank you for your question, Tom. Like I mentioned with the mailing labels, you can get those once per year. All you need to do is give us a call at the chamber. I'm the first person to answer the phone, so I can just take it right away. Or you can send me an email, and my email was posted a bit earlier. But if you are interested, you can just let me know now, and I'll get those printed off for you and have them ready.
We usually ask for about 24 hours notice on those type of things. Even for the gift certificates, if you'd like to purchase any of those, we ask for 24 to 48 hours to get those printed, depending on how many you have. If you're going to give me an order of $25,000 in chamber gift cards, we're going to need more than 48 hours to get them printed and ready. Daniel might kill us. Even though we now have a printer that folds everything, he still might kill us if we ask for that for 24 hours. Christina asked a great question. She said, where can I find more information on the Google stuff? That is a huge concern for a lot of our local businesses. They want to make sure that their businesses are well connected. Christina, if you can email me privately, I will connect you with one of our Google trainers, and I will make sure, and I will send you some webinar links as well. They're all available online, but I'll get them to you. Let's see. Any other questions you might have for your chamber staff? Well, we want to thank you for joining us today. And I do want to remind you that the chamber staff and the chamber board, we are here to support you in any way that we can. And if you have questions, if you realize like, hey, I don't know what I'm doing, I don't know how to connect with this person. We get questions all the time about who do I contact about this problem? And if all we're doing is providing you a number, we love to do that. If you need us to do more than that, we're more than likely going to be able to pull that off for you. So please use us as a resource to keep your business going. We know the past year has been significantly harder than any of the past years we've ever experienced, especially in my lifetime. And so having the chamber as a source of stability and backbone for our businesses has been significant. I want to thank you all for being here. This webinar is recorded, so we will be posting that on our YouTube page, which Daniel shared, and I'm sure it will get shared on our social media as well. Thank you, everyone.